here. All right, so we're starting on YouTube as we always do. Cave Crew TV, 2K17. We're about to hop on the other on the radio feed as well. Just stand by. Stand by. It works.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of big men.
I say this without the respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of the masculine feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice-cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Craven, what else are you going to do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball! It's a power play goal!
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Howdy ho, howdy ho. Indeed it is, and a happy 2017 to everybody. If I haven't wished you that already, this is the first show of Cave Crew Radio of 2017, and my name is DK, and I am coming from you live from the Big Smoke in Ontario, Canada, and I am wearing my Canadian colors tonight. At last update, it was 15 below centigrade. You'll have to figure that out on your calculator, Big B. And it's very cold, trust me. It freezes your nose hairs. And it's 2-0 Canada in the World Junior Hockey Championships. So that kind of warms up my smile a little bit. I do believe I hear Queens, New York in a little bit, well, maybe not better frame of mind, but not so sick tonight.
You do indeed hear Queens, New York, much healthier than I was last week. Live from Queens, I am Sir Big B, and yes, I am past my plague. I found out I went to the doctor on Friday, and found out I had viral bronchitis.
Oh shit! I thought you were going to tell she had lupus.
No, I didn't have lupus or piles or shingles or anything like that. I had viral bronchitis. So my doctor gave me 2 different antibiotics. And part of his prescription to me was that I should have a shot of bourbon. No shit. He said, I should have a shot of bourbon before I take the antibiotics because it'll numb my throat and it'll help me take the pills. I said, okay. So I am following doctor's orders.
I'm
taking the shot.
Salute.
Cheers. My medication as prescribed by the doctor.
Nice. Right. And now is the pill in there?
No. Pill is not in there. But
and that'll help you with Canada winning 2-0.
That will help me with Canada, but it was only the first period, so we have some time. And as the ball was dropping on 2017, literally, as the ball is coming down in Times Square, I was taking my antibiotics.
And your shot of bourbon.
Times. And my shot of bourbon.
And before we go over to that guy whose connection we're not sure if it's going to be good or not anyway, and that's why we always delay bringing him in, folks, because we never know if he's going to be there or not. But Hot Toddy is a very famous, at least Irish, which is my old heritage.
Yep.
They all came over on the Mayflower, right?
Yeah.
But Hot Toddy is the universal thing for a cold, which is, well, it could be bourbon or whiskey with lemon or honey and tea.
And tea, yeah.
You're just leaving out the 2 ingredients that are probably just for flavor.
Yeah, well, my concoction was some good old Woodford Reserve and 2 different antibiotics.
Listen, before we check in halfway across the world and bring our guest in, have you gotten this cold or any of this snow yet, or is it not hitting you?
It's dipping down now. It was like 33 degrees today, which is like 1 Celsius, I think, because 32 is freezing. That would be 0 for you.
Don't. I understand both. I told you I'm bilingual, right?
Like I was saying before, that 33 degrees Fahrenheit could mean negative 20,000 Celsius. I have no idea. But yes, it's like it's starting to get colder. No snow yet.
No, it'll come your way. It always does. But yeah, it burns my ass when I turn on the news in the morning. I'm watching Good Morning America, and here's a major cold front going across the central United States and in Michigan and Ohio, and we're 52. Like,
right. And as you're watching Good Morning America, they're live from Times Square, so you can see our weather every morning.
Yeah, but you're going to get hit by a hurricane and a blizzard at the same time. So, it don't matter. And you've got alligators in your fucking sewers. Anyway, bring old Doodle Doo in.
Well, I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe I hear London calling. Is London there?
I'm firing on all cylinders tonight, hopefully. Touch wood. This is Choo Choo Stew, London calling. Good evening, gentlemen.
Now explain to everybody, Choo Choo Stew, how you're able to join us perfectly clear on Wi-Fi, but not when you're hardwired to your computer.
Well, I think it has something to do with the Ethernet cable that I purchased from eBay. And it may have been a little bit faulty. Bit of faulty wire in there. So I've given it a go without that cable tonight. So
that's like buying your lawnmower at the dollar store.
He didn't realize it was Play-Doh and duct tape as a wire. He didn't realize it.
Anyway, a happy new year to you.
Yes, happy new year to everyone.
Now, what's that say in your hat? I'm having a hard time reading that. Is that a New York hat you bought?
I believe so.
Okay.
It's like a cheap version. It's made in China.
Okay, don't take it off because you might have a bald man's hat head.
I got a free Ethernet cable with it.
Yeah, I believe you did. I can believe you did. Anyway, folks, another big honor tonight. Last time Choo Choo Stew was unable to make it. We had a guest, and God, it's a 50-50, just like Take the Bait, so I'm probably going to take the wrong answer. If I go South Dakota, I hope I'm right, because there's 2 of them. But the host of Raw and Real at ripkamedia.com, great guy, a lot of fun, and he's hopped on with us tonight, and he's having some internet problems of his own, I guess, but he's still here. CJ, say hello.
What's up, Cave Crew? How you guys doing?
We're doing good now. Yeah, you've been waiting forever to meet Choo Choo Stew, and I've heard some background conversations, and I think you've told Big B and I from the last time you were on, I don't know, episode 31, a piss glow and a 10-minute intro, that Choo Choo Stew is your favorite character.
Yeah, he is my favorite character. I'm a Stu fan. I don't know what it is about him. It was something. A lot of it had to do with those audio problems at the beginning, because it seemed like he was about ready to drop a bomb, and then it would just go blank, and there was nothing there. So from that moment, it was like, oh yeah, I'm a Stu fan. It's gonna be, and yeah. So it's finally, it's a pleasure to finally meet the legend that is Stu, the Choo Choo Stew.
Choo Choo Stew is here.
I've got my finger on the button, so I can just cut out at any time that I like.
Watched every move you've made, CJ. This is now. See, when characters know each other and the pranks they do against each other, folks, that is a true love-hate relationship. Now, I'm here to tell you tonight because we don't have a lot of time to waste because we got a lot of shit going on. CJ is here for a reason. But before we go anywhere, the main theme of this is going to be, other than our usual take the bait and our funny stories and whatever else is going on in the world, we're here to talk tonight about rants. Because let's face it, it's a fucking phone. I'm going to rant about my phone in a sec. I just got a new one and I don't know how to mute it. Anyway, one of the things that Big B is famous for those of you that have been listening to us for a long time and watching us on Cave Crew TV on YouTube, is his rants. He just goes off at the most simplest things. And I know I get mad at Stu when his audio goes bad and shit like that, but Big B's rants are classic. Well, here we are in a new year. And we're what, 5 days in? Yeah, 5 days in.
Yep. And
I believe the bar has been set. And why I have CJ here tonight, I mean, he's welcome as a day in May, anytime. But I have to give full credit to Stu on this. But last night, we're, normal Wednesday night, not much going on. Stu triggers me over to Ron Real because I tuned into Ron Real and see the 15 minute I'm waiting for people shit. Like it just wasn't there. And so lo and behold, there was this video. Now, this video, Big B,
hold on a second. I got to interrupt you. I got to interrupt you for a second. The reason why there's no 15 minutes of I got to wait to see if people show up is because of the rant that Big B gave on the Piss Glow show. So I quit doing I'm going to wait.
I made him self-conscious.
Yeah, but before now that you brought up that question, see, you're delaying the inevitable, but we'll talk about all this in a minute. And there's actually a very serious topic that lays underneath this fun shit that we talk about. But have you found that your listenership is up or down since you've had Big B's advice?
Oh, hell, I don't really care. No, to be honest with you, it's always in replay, man. Everybody seems to watch and replay. I might get 10 or 12 people watching live, but for the most part, it's all replay.
We stress so much about being live, and you know what? I think if we recorded at 8 in the morning and then released it, we should do that, because sometimes we go Tuesdays, sometimes we go Thursdays. Never seems to be a big difference. So I wonder if we just decided to go really early in the morning someday and didn't even air it live, if we get as many downloads. I just think we're in a world where people like to download, which is cool.
See, I think though, being live, yes, we're in an era where people like to download, and like you said, that's fine, no problem. I think us being live though forces us to concentrate and do a weekly show, because if you if you record it and you don't have a structure around it, you may do it, like you said, maybe a Tuesday, maybe a Wednesday, maybe something comes up and you'll do it. I'll wait till later on in the week, and then something happens and you don't do it. Being live and having an on-air time every week forces you to concentrate on the show and be at the show and be your best at that time. So I thought about the same thing with my metal show. It's like, I could just podcast it, but no, recording it forces you to be there.
And here's the other thing I like, and this might be crazy, because I've tried both a long time myself too. But I find when you're recording, you can take 15 tries at it, you can get an audacity, but you miss those burps. And the funny things on Stu Cams and when I just like listening, because you usually get a very good quality show, because majority of people care about their all audio and all that shit, and they're prepared for a show. But then shit happens, and that shit that happens to me is glorious, and that's leading me into this. So let's go back to these rants for a second. We can debate recorded versus live at another thing in the PDC or something. By the way, folks, which is the Podcast Discovery Center, which is the best Facebook group in the world. If you ever want to get into either recorded or live or video or whatever. Don't forget me to mention after this, we have a sponsor, by the way. I forgot to tell you about that. But anyway, so I forgot where I was because I'm getting old these days. So Stu turns me on to this, and I'm a fan of CJ anyway. He always puts out fantastic product and interviews, and even when he's by himself, I could listen to him talk. And so I click on this video, and I hear a rant that is going to drop the microphone, that is setting the bar for 2017. And you are a champ at it, Big B. So this is why I didn't want to tell you who it was or what it was. I wanted you to hear it here tonight. And I had to condense it into about 5 minutes, folks. I think it went on for about 14 minutes and 37 seconds, if I'm correct. But I've condensed most of it because there's a little bit of repetition when you rant because you tend to, get aggravated or repeat yourself. So hang on a minute here.
Okay. I
am going to key this up.
So this is while he's doing that. I haven't heard this. I don't know anything about this, but DK has prefaced this earlier today by saying that it would rival me and have I met my match. So I asked him about it, and he wouldn't give me any further information until now.
Correct. And I will post the video on Facebook. I will share it everywhere because even though, and here's the point before this is how passionate I am about this. Even though it was posted as a rant and out of anger, it could be, and I'm not taking away from what CJ does because he meets a lot of people and does a lot of great things. Maybe his best episode of the year. But to clarify, folks, while you're listening to this, before I did anything, went and got permission to use this audio, and I am not breaking any damn copyright laws. And we'll talk about that after this. Just listen, Big B.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is condensed. I'll show you the full version shortly after the show.
Okay.
Let me find it. Here we go. All right.
Oh, hot.
Here's the problem. I had the last live stream that I just got done doing a freaking 30-minute show, and they cut it off after 2 minutes. And the reason why they claim to have cut it off is because they felt that there was copyrighted material in my show. Now, get this, Facebook. I own everything in my show. Everything that I do is absolutely original. I don't steal from anybody. And the reason is I respect every one of these content creators that are out here. I'm not going to rip off their stuff. I'm not going to do any.
Short pause. All hosts and co-hosts take a pen. Hint, hint. There might be helps for a title in this.
But promote their stuff if that happens to be something that's going on in my show. So I don't give a damn if you think that there's copyrighted material. You need to contact me and find out what it is, or at least tell me what it is that you think is fucking content or copyrighted. I'm pissed. That's all I can say. This is the second time this has happened. The first time it happened, I thought we got things squared away. I haven't changed anything. My music is the same. My backgrounds are the same. Everything that I do is set up to create some kind of congruency between my shows. And you're going to tell me that there's something in the first 2 minutes of the show where you're going to shut me down? Come on. Pull your fucking heads out of your goddamn asses. Fix this shit. I'm sick and absolutely tired of dealing with the stuff. We're trying to do stuff for you. We're putting content out there for you. We, the people, are what make Facebook. Facebook doesn't make Facebook. Come on. Pull your heads out of your asses for once. Now, I don't know who this Blue Radio is, but I went and looked it up. You're trying to tell me, when I say, guy, go ahead and put the video out there, you tell me that Blue Radio owns something that I did. They're from Bogota, Colombia. How the hell am I listening to anything from Bogota, Colombia? Come on. Think about that for a second. You honestly believe I can understand a damn thing on a freaking station from Bogota, Colombia? Man, hey, I got a 2 double fingers for you, Facebook. I will take my shit over to YouTube Live, and I will say fuck you to Facebook Live. I will do everything in my power to make sure that other content creators don't use Facebook Live unless they want to be this little teenage freaking little girl putting on makeup and all that kind of shit, and you got thousands of freaking perverts sitting there watching her, yelling at her, hey, take it off or do it. If that's what you want on Facebook Live, hey, fuck, you take it. You take it. That's fine. I'll go somewhere else where it's a little bit more professional. Fuck you, Facebook. That's a hashtag for this show right here. Fuck you, Facebook. You want to fuck with me, I'll fuck with you back. That's the way I roll. I'm not that guy. Here's the thing. But when I got some pencil dick up in freaking Washington or wherever Facebook is at, and they're telling me that my shit is stolen material, come on, pull your head out of your ass. You don't know a goddamn show if it fucking sat there right in front of you and said, hey, look, this is a real show. You need to pay attention to this. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, if I was going to rip off any material, I would rip off material from my wife because she is funny as fuck. She has some of the best one-liners I've ever heard ever. And if she takes me to court, well, then we got some other issues that we need to work out. But here's the thing. I'm not stealing material from anybody. I may talk about something that somebody else talks about on their show, but I'm going to give them credit for it. Especially some podunk radio station from freaking Bogota, Colombia. Whatever. Anyways, that's it. I'm done. I'm done ranting. I'm done bitching, crying, complaining. You don't need to be listening to this. It's not doing us any good. All I got to say, I'm going to finish this off with a hashtag fuck Facebook, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, y'all. Just got finished up bitching about Facebook. Yeah, hashtag fuck Facebook. That's the way we feel about it right now. They tell me I ripped something off from Blue Radio in Bogota, Colombia. Well, they can shove it up their ass. I don't need Facebook Live. I'll go to YouTube Live. Hey, at least I can make a few pennies there. Till next time, everybody, keep it raw and keep it motherfucking real.
Yeah, raw and real. I don't think anyone else, even as much as they sabotage them, hey, I think every one of our listeners right now are Googling Bogoton, Colombia. I've never fucking heard of the place.
So wait, hold on. Let me do the classic 80s teenage movie slow clap.
Not impressed.
I give you a standing ovation.
Oh, he loves it.
That was fan-fucking-tastic.
Now listen,
I loved it.
That's from a guy who rants for a living, CJ.
Hey, I learned something from the man. I mean,
that was, and let me just just to attach onto that for 1 second, and just to bring the mood down for 1 minute. So Chris last night, or I guess it was last night, gets censored for doing his Facebook Live for stuff they said was copyrighted, but yet it comes out today that 3 black teenage girls kidnapped and abused a special needs person on Facebook Live.
Yes,
tied him up and abused him physically on Facebook Live, and Facebook didn't do shit about that. But yet they'll come down on him.
You wonder why I don't let my kid on.
Had they been doing that to some copyrighted music in the background, they would have taken them off.
It's ridiculous.
Now, in defense of YouTube Live, which is where we are on Cave Crew TV every week, and we love them. They copyright me if I play 30 seconds of a song on a commercial. I would think that would be a tribute to someone. Wow, this is a cool song. I got to go listen to it, or I got to download it, or I got to do something. I don't know.
So and see, here's the thing. There's two things that need to be said about at least this show. One, I am ASCAP licensed, so YouTube, go fuck yourself if you pull anything off. I am ASCAP licensed. I can use any type of music I want on any program I'm on. Two, when I went to broadcast school, I learned about fair use. You can use something as fair use, not as long as you're not taking credit for it and not using the whole fucking thing. You can use pieces of it any way you like, and it's called fair use. You don't have to pay copyrights for it.
Right. And I'm gonna we gotta let CJ speak, because this was his whole rant last night. But the whole thing was too, he even said, I cut a lot out because I didn't want to spend 14 minutes of it. Not that I don't love you, but he always gives credit where credit's due. Like when he says someone sucks, Big B, he gives you full credit for it.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
What are you trying to
He
start?
does that
What are you trying to start over
I know
there?
he's trying to start a war between us. Apparently,
I have an idea, but I think CJ, that we're behind you on this, because I don't think any of us. Yeah, there's people making millions of dollars out there, and there's people making fortunes, but the majority of us out here, we do it because we love it, and like you said, we're trying to make a couple pennies if we can, but we give credit to each other, and I think for the most part we respect each other, even though we make fun of each other, and it's all done in jest. But what tell us about the support and everything you've got about this. I was amused by that as well, that it wasn't just me.
No. Oh my God. It was insane. All the people that were rallying behind me about this fucking Facebook thing. Now here's the thing. When I came out to do this rant, honestly, I didn't think anybody was going to watch it. I literally tagged Mark Zuckerberg in this video. Not only did I tag him in the fucking video, I sent him a private message saying, hey, you need to check this out. You guys are dropping the ball. I don't know who, you don't know me. You probably won't even read this. I don't really give a damn. But the fact of the matter is, I get to bitch, gripe, and complain to somebody who thinks they have a handle on the situation. Well, of course, I didn't get nothing back from them, which doesn't surprise me because most people are afraid of conflict anyways. What the hell? I would just send out this stuff. Well, then I started getting these private messages and these emails and all this shit from people saying, yeah, fuck Facebook, hashtag fuck Facebook. I mean, it just turned into an insane amount of people. At this moment right now, the last time I checked, 72 emails that I hadn't opened up with the hashtag fuck Facebook.
So every show I do from now on is going to have the hashtag fuck Facebook. You have just discovered, not only have you ranted and amused us all, you have discovered the key to social media marketing.
Apparently.
I wonder if fuck Twitter would work as well.
So apparently nobody wants to hear about inspirational motivation and all that bullshit. They just want to hear people bitch a lot.
So
I'll tell you, we wake up in the morning, we still got our bills, we still, you know what, like that. I have a few people that I watch every day, and I watch all this stuff that everybody puts on, and they're great, and I'll feel good about you. Sometimes you hit a wall, and sometimes it feels good just a fucking rant.
So CJ,
I'm
what
surprised,
happened?
Chris. I'm surprised I haven't taken him down. Like Facebook haven't actually taken you down yet.
Yeah, do you ever notice that? How they take people down and they complain. I just got out of Facebook jail. That brings up another good point. So here is CJ, who got blocked for 2 minutes for playing YouTube free music and waiting for listeners to come, like a child waiting for Christmas. And it's a joke, guys. And does a great job. He knows I love him. Anyway, And then he comes on, he's yelling and swearing. He's literally declaring war on Bogoton, Colombia. And if anyone can tell me where Bogoton, Colombia fucking is, I'd love you to death. Because I never fucking heard about it before until they blocked Ripka.
You know, the funny thing is today I had 3 Facebook friends requests from people from Bogota, Colombia. That's what's really funny.
They want to see what they're ripping off.
Right. So Chris, what happened? Like, give me a little background of what happened. Like, you started your show and then it suddenly stopped. Like, how did you know they pulled you off?
I didn't know it stopped until after I did the whole show. So I'm sitting there going through a 30-minute show, and I get over to Facebook and I go over to check the playback like I always do, and I notice that there's a message from Facebook in my notifications. So I go check it out, and it says, "We stopped your how's it say? It's something like, we stopped your programming due to copyright or due to content that may be used by somebody else." Stuff. So then I opened up my email because I had an email notification, and they send me an email, and the email says, "We have reason to believe that you have used copyrighted information or copyrighted material, so we had to your show." And I was like, what the and I went off the fucking deep end. Soon as I got that email, I went straight back onto Facebook Live, and I just did my rant. But here's the thing: I used the same intro music, I used the same backdrop, I used everything, the same thing as I did in my show, and they didn't turn that one down.
So where did Blue Radio from Bogota, Colombia come from?
Yeah, but wait a minute. Tell us again why you would not steal anything from Bogota, Colombia, because I think I forgot to put that in the audio. That there's a problem why you would not listen to Bogota, Colombia.
Of course there's a problem why I wouldn't listen to Bogota, Colombia. I don't speak their fucking language.
No, you did it better last night. You don't know what language they speak. You said Spanish, French, Bogotonian,
Portuguese,
Colombian.
You know, and here's the thing. When I went, they give you an option to go ahead and release the video. So I clicked go ahead, release the video, and it said, then it gave me the message that we have to notify Blue Radio. Well, notify these motherfuckers. I want to fucking talk to these guys. So then, I go over to their website.
Blue Radio. I want Blue Radio on this show. And get him a fucking translator while you're at it.
You can't understand a fucking word they say.
Well, he's a junior intern. I want you, Choo Stu. You're closer to Columbia than me, I think. I'm sure they're only 14 stones away. Get a hold of Blue Radio. Get the motherfuckers on the phone, and let's understand what. Look, here's the thing. It wasn't just I was laughing my ass off because the madder you got, the funnier it gets, and we're gonna share this video, and number one, gonna make people laugh, and number two, it's gonna get a very strong message across. But I don't know if you've heard, but I get very pissed off every week because there's something, even if Stu hiccups, we have broken a copyright policy on YouTube. So it's not just Facebook, but YouTube is very gentle about it. They always say, don't worry about it. We're not going to take down your video. However, you won't make any money. Not that we do. Okay. I don't want people to think that we're making a lot of money. This is why we do Patreon and PayPal and all this other shit. But it's the way YouTube tends to do it. They're much gentler. A big email that comes in and says, you have made copyright info. I swear it's every fucking show. I should start posting them in the show notes. And I ask these guys, I've gone to do the best that I can to do royalty-free music. It's why I came to you and said, can we please do this? I don't want a lawsuit on my hands. But it doesn't matter what you do. But I would think if someone recorded me and put me out and someone heard Cave Crew Radio and it was on a different show or wherever this clip is or that clip. And listen, sharing of podcasts without our permission is a whole other venue, because just Google your show and you'll see yourself all over the world. Because that means people are listening to me. Well, it doesn't mean they're listening to me, but it means I'm available for listening. So, yeah, I feel your pain. When you said that, I felt your pain, but it was just the 14-minute, the Bogoton, Colombia. And the chick on the makeup on Facebook who was getting molested was the best.
And let's just be careful about who we insult in Bogota, okay? Because that is home of the Medellin cartel, which is the most ferocious drug cartel in all of the world. So let's just be careful who we insult in Bogota.
So we're doing some research. So what are they called? I'm writing all this shit down tonight.
It's the Medellin cartel. I don't know how to spell it. It's like MEDI.
I just spelled my own.
I don't know.
Because the next thing I'm going to get is somebody, from iTunes or Stitcher or something going, you have made a spelling mistake that is a copyright infringement of the word that is in the English dictionary.
I'm going to get someone knocking on my door saying, you talking about Bogota, Colombia, eh?
You could end up having to pay protection to someone.
So then we're going to see fucking Chris on a video somewhere on a shitty fuzzy video. It is today, January 20th, 2017. I disavow anything I said about Bogota, Colombia. It is the greatest country in the world.
Chris will end up kidnapped. We'll start getting fingers through the post and
missing body parts. Have you seen? He's going to be on Nancy Grace by the end of it tonight.
Blue Radio with a newspaper hold up next to him. Blue Radio is the #1 radio station in the world.
I'm setting up a new thing for YouTube at the corner of my station, or my camera is always going to be a map of Bogoton, Colombia. For the rest of this year.
Hashtag fuck Facebook.
Hashtag fuck Facebook. It is. And now Stu is up and going again. Notice all the colorful things he has if you're on Cave Crew TV. He has all these colorful pictures up again. He's getting giggly and snorty over there with whatever he's got in that pipe. I don't trust Stu. I don't think he's vaping cream de menthe or a cherry pie. I think he's got a shipment coming in from Bogota, Colombia.
He's vaping heroin is what he's doing.
Look at the cop hat he's got on now. Oh. Constable Carson has arrived.
Oh, no.
Can I just stop for 1 second? Big shout out to everybody in the chat room. I haven't said hi to you. Eric Evil's in there.
Hey, what's up?
We're going to give some weird news too. Now, this went on a little long. Anybody have anything else to say before I go to a very quick break?
No.
Or I think
Colombia. I just want that noted.
Here. You just want what?
I want it noted that I love Colombia and everything that they stand for.
He was so worried about his family.
He just don't want to cause an international incident.
Okay, but wait a minute. He really didn't call out Bogota and Colombia. Who he called out, Stu, was Facebook. How do you feel about Facebook? Because those are the ones, and they may be the most powerful military force in the world right now. We don't know that. That sabotaged the election, not the Russians. How do you feel about Facebook, Stu?
I don't really care either way, to be honest. So I think Chris's problem, they just picked him out randomly and just said, yeah, we'll cut that. There's just people sitting there clicking buttons. They wasn't listening.
I couldn't say, though, folks, that I couldn't agree with Big B more. I don't know if anybody else saw that video come up of that. And look, they always targeted of white and black. There was a disabled person who was abused by, and to me, it's irrelevant because it goes both ways. It's like a freaking pinball machine to me. But that's the shit that should be, you know, if Hulk Hogan can sue Gawker for 138 million, then this kid's going to make a bundle.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they let that go, but you know, Chris playing some music, we can't have that. Don't ever do that. But yet, some fucking poor handicapped kid gets abused, and it goes live, and fucking, it's ridiculous.
Now here's the look. We're gonna skip the whole break, and I apologize to your wife. I don't know if she's not out there yet. She sent me something. We'll play it next week. We're not gonna do commercial break this week. We're rolling along too good.
But I think before we do that, we have to mention one thing.
What's that? We
have to mention that we have a sponsor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Listen, but I got to key this up too because I'm so excited about this, folks. There's and for you broadcasters out there, I fully encourage you to go to AdvertiseCast. We got a sponsor, and I'm going to be honest, and I think this is probably what attracted her to us. Is my first thing was like, oh my God, it must be a butt plug, or a beer company, or something like that. Lo and behold, it's an author. So let me key this up. This will be our commercial break for the year. Hang on, I got special sound effects and stuff.
Okay.
And I haven't rehearsed this, so let's. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to encourage all of you to go over to novelsbymariameyer.com, and that is Meyer spelled Mayer. And we will post that on our webpage, and we'll be tweeting about it and be Facebooking about it as well. It's a new novel. It's called Crone. It's a Scarlett St. James novel, and it's written by Maria Meyer. Now, just a very quick point about it. Maria Meyer's Crone is a horror fictional story investigating the unexplained disappearances of several teens since 1984. Scarlett St. James leads an investigation in the search for answers. She is a seer. Join her in this fantastic novel. And I was not given a script or anything, but again, folks, it was only supposed to be 10 seconds. I think I've gone further. It's novelsbymariameyer.com. She will be on for the next few weeks and hopefully for a long time. The name of the novel is Crone, a Scarlett St. James novel. I'm sure it's available where all good books are sold. And the links can be found at cavecrewradio.com and on our Facebook page and on Twitter.
That sounds like a kick-ass book. Go out and definitely go out and check it out.
I have to admit, and if Marie is listening, I sent her an email and I said, "Is there anything specific you want us to say?" And I got no answer because, listen, nobody thinks higher of this show than me. But I mean, we got our Patreon out there, and we got our PayPal, and yes, Uncle Albert gifted us with the pro version of Minicam, which is a generous gift, and the odd little thing piddles in, and trust me, you're not paying anybody's mortgage, and you're just making for a better show. I hope you can't help the hosts out unless you fire us and find other ones. But I just thought it was really cool, and it does. It looks like a really good novel, and you know what? In return, I'm probably going to order the thing.
Absolutely.
Crone.
Order it and read it. Sounds great.
Now, here's the really cool thing, and I know she only paid for 10 seconds, but you got to be loyal to your sponsors. I guess she was like a mortician. Facebook Live the other night, and I didn't get cut off, by the way. That she was a mortician, went to school for it, and now she's gotten into writing and stuff. And she's from Michigan. It's really cool.
Nice.
I'd like to hear you read something, DK, with your dulcet tones.
As a matter of fact, Stu, next week I will read an excerpt from Crone, a Scarlett James novel. I will do that next week for you.
Because I only do audio books.
He really wants me to do audiobooks. I think my throat would get dry after a while. Like, could you imagine like doing an audiobook for like The Hobbit or something?
I want to see you do an audiobook for the Kama Sutra.
Oh God, I'd put someone to sleep. I don't have that. There used to be this radio DJ in Detroit, and he did this nighttime show. It was like the bedtime talk, and they said, you should take over that show. He's long past. Maybe I could pull that off. Introducing Lionel Richie or something. Well, couples are lying on their silk pillows, but narrating a book to me is such a long process. I don't know if I could, and I stutter a lot. But we could edit, right?
That's true.
We could edit. Anyway, anything else to say, CJ? Because we're going to move into a part of the show that's favorite to us.
No, I'm just sitting here waiting to get into the show. I mean, I've been sitting here the whole time trying to figure out what the hell's coming next, and you guys are just kind of keep on talking about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. When I get emotional about something, I tend to go on. No, that was a big event, and folks, if that doesn't trigger you in one way or another, because if they're actually listening to us, it doesn't matter if you're a broadcaster or a listener. If you're actually listening to us, that affects you too. Mm-hmm. The broadcasters do the work or whatever, but if you're a listener, if they shut us down, you're stuck with Hawaii and Kathy Lee or whatever. Whatever Oprah tends to bring. All right, the next segment is Stu. I'm going to go to Stu first, and I know Uncle Albert's going to be creaming his freaking pants out there. So what you got to do in the chat room? Who's in the chat room? Just Al or? We got Eric Evil too. So you guys need to pick. CJ needs to do the same thing too because it becomes unfair. So CJ, you've played this game before. It's called Take the Bait. You need to pick two of us because it leaves us at an unfair advantage if you pick all three. And I've got to get everything set up here.
And real quick for Eric Evil, I don't think he knows our game yet. Let me quickly explain it to him before he chooses in chat. What this is each one of us, the three of us, myself, DK, and Choo Stu, read two stories, one real, one fake, and everybody votes on which one they think is real and fake, and whoever comes out with the most correct answers wins. But because there's three of us, those in chat and any guest we have, like today we have CJ, has to pick two of us to make it fair. So Eric, Uncle Albert.
We could always give Eric a pass though, because it's his first time.
Well, that's true. But if you want, Eric and Uncle Albert, please pick the two hosts you are going to go with and play along with, as well as CJ. Please pick.
Yeah, you have a minute. I have to play the intro music. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a little story where we tell you two stories. One is true and one is false, and it's up to you to decide. And we call it Take the Bait. So Uncle Albert says Stu and DK for me. Eric, you can vote on all three. I'm cool with that. It's his first time. You got to learn, right?
Okay.
However, let's go to I think we should go to England first in case we lose him again. Because last week, folks, we were in the middle of this game and it was really intense, and we just put all these rules on our defending champion, Uncle Albert. Mm-hmm. And it all came down to Choo Choo Stew, and Choo Choo Stew shit the bed. and you know what? We might have a video coming out of Choo Choo Stew being harassed by Google Hangouts. I have no idea. But London, are you ready? And you know the rules, right, CJ?
Yeah, I know the rules.
Kind of a fun little game. All right. Okay. Choo Choo, go ahead. What is one.
Right. Well, both of my stories involved dwarves this week. It was these stories were meant to be released last week, but as you said, I couldn't really. I had a bit of an internet problem. But the first story is about pantomimes, which are a musical theatre production over here in the UK. It's like a comedy theatre that we have every Christmas. So from Christmas elves to the seven dwarves, there is no shortage of seasonal work for pantomime dwarf actors. But the season to be jolly has become a season of miserliness for some pantomime companies who are casting non-dwarf actors to save money. One such company is Kudos Entertainment, which has admitted to casting non-dwarf actors on the basis of their physical and performance skills in productions of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This means that non-dwarf actors have to wear a special bodysuit or knee pads in order to play dwarf roles. So basically what it is, they can get away with paying less money to normal sized people who dress up in these suits and pretend they're small actors or pretend they're small dwarves. So in a nutshell, that is the story. So I have got more should you need it.
So if there's like a 6'5" dude and they decide he's the best guy, how does that work? How does he become Sneezy?
Well, they
how does he become Sneezy? Is that what you just fucking said?
Yes.
I just about choked in my esophagus. Oh shit! Carry on.
So they put on a special suit and they have like their boots where their knees are. So they're basically on the stage on their knees with their feet at the back. So it looks like they've got short legs.
It's kind of like a teenager cheating on Halloween.
I would imagine they wouldn't actually get 6'5" people to do it, but your average.
But I'm just saying, you know, if it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and they're not gonna, you know, cast midgets,
right?
They could potentially cast a 6'5" dude because he acts real well, and he's got to become Sneezy and like crawl around on stage.
Right, yeah. He might have a hard time finding a role otherwise.
Yeah, so the dwarves are all up in arms because they're being put out of work.
Okay, I'm going to roll this over to. Am I right with South Dakota, by the way, or is it North?
South.
It is South. All right. See, I got it
right. Right the first time.
I don't win anything, but I got the Dakotas right. Anyway, do you have any questions, CJ?
You know, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this word pantomime because
that's usually a guy that
I'm trying to figure this out because I always thought it was the people that, you know, did the little, you know, silent acting thing.
That's what I said before the show.
It's a musical comedy production. But let me just add, dwarf actors on average are paid.
Don't speak.
Dwarf actors on average pay twice as much as non-dwarf actors. That's why they're.
Is this story in defense of the non-dwarf actors or the dwarf actors?
Oh, it's just laying down the facts that they're being put out of work because they're basically getting paid too much money. So normal sized people are taking on their role.
So because they're dwarfs, they're supposed to get half the money?
Well, they're half the size. Half the size, half the money.
The other thing I'm going to tell you is pantomime has as much in common with a musical as Slayer has in common with Charlie Chaplin. Okay, you got the word pantomime all wrong. I'm with these two. Pantomime is a guy in a black suit with a white face who pretends he's climbing a wall or trying to get out of a box or something.
No, just think of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Pantomime is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in North America.
But that's what we call them, a pantomime.
Okay, so
so
I was in agreement with everybody. I was the first one to say, that it's miming, but I just Googled the pantomime definition, and in Stu's defense, the number 2 says British. A theatrical entertainment mainly for children that involves music, topical jokes, and slapstick comedy, and is based on a fairy tale or nursery story, usually produced around Christmas. Stu is 100% correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just retarded in North America.
Well, for us, that's the British definition of pantomime. The first one, number 1.
You also call a fag a cigarette just because they like sticking things in their mouths.
It says a dramatic entertainment originating in Roman mime in which performers express meaning through gestures accompanied by music. So we're both correct. Everyone is correct. We were thinking it's mimes, which is the number 1 definition, but Stu is correct. The British definition is exactly as he described.
It doesn't really matter what the definition is. It's that the main thinkers are getting put out of work because of non-dwarf people are taking their jobs.
Okay,
right,
so
yes, the story is about the dwarfs.
Okay,
yeah.
Since I think number 1, Big B should be officially disqualified for Googling anything during this, which is the rule number 1. So I don't think he should get a point either way.
He was just fact checking. I mean, he's not looking up the story. He's just
rule number 1 of the fun of the game is that you do not Google.
Okay, I will pass. I will be disqualified.
And I don't mean to get out for a side conversation or rant, but the first part of the show really got me up. So I think that if you Google everything in the story, like if I told you there was a rat with a horse's tail, you shouldn't be allowed to Google it. It's either you believe it or you don't.
Well, anyway, do you want me to crack on with the next story?
So no, I'm not ready for that. So I'm just asking Big B, while he is disqualified from voting on the first story,
yes,
to Google when fag comes up, does it discuss a cigarette and a person's penis in the same way?
I can find that out.
All right, you got lots of time now.
Right, but this second story is also themed around the dwarves. I'm not quite sure how old the story is. It may be a little bit older, but this is a controversial American dwarf female rock band, the Quickies, who are to visit Britain next month, have signed a distribution deal with UK record label Acton Records to release their album With These Bricks to coincide with their forthcoming tour. The album, together with the single of the same name, has been banned by over half the radio stations in America. The band calls upon girl dwarfs everywhere to stand up and be counted, and encourages the illegal pastime of bricking. This involves short females painting an imitation dwarf flap on the front on the front door of an empty house. So it's like a cat flap, but it's a dwarf flap.
It's a cat flap.
And then what they do, so they're painting a dwarf on the door, then they chase lone male dwarfs up the street concerned by banging 2 bricks together and then threatening to neuter the unfortunate male concerned. The dwarf then sees the dwarf flap of the front door, rushes to the front of the houses, makes a run for it, and thereby knocking himself out when he tries to go through this dwarf flap. And he wakes up half hour later, and if he's lucky, the only thing he finds missing is his wallet. So cities in America that have played host to the Quickies have reported an increase of these attacks of 200% in the days following their concert. So that is, in a nutshell, the story. It does go on for more. But so it's about this American dwarf female rock band, the Quickies.
Now, I have to apologize. I am going to undisqualify Big B and allow him to vote because I don't understand a fucking word you just said. Talk about slapping your bricks together and banging your head in the door and losing your wallet. What did you call it? A Frisco? I couldn't write quick enough. You are undisqualified. You are allowed to be our of the Western Hemisphere. I mean, for fuck's sake. The Dwarfs recorded an album and smashed 2 bricks together.
Right. There's an American. Right. What they do. Right. The album is called With These Bricks. Right. And there's this thing that these dwarves do called bricking. Okay. And they bang 2 bricks together and they chase a male dwarf up the street.
Right.
And what people do, do you know you can get dwarf flaps? You know you get a cat flap.
Look, I didn't believe in the half Christmas tree, but I'm really believing in stories you tell me.
But do you know you have cat flaps where you have these half doors.
Remember that old monkey song?
Called dwarf flaps.
Do you remember that old monkey song? I'm a believer. It's going to be my theme song now because there's a lot of shit you tell about that I don't believe, and I'm hands down. I'll go with number 2.
Well, you know, they have to have like in the Netherlands, they have the door that's split in 2, so the top half opens and the bottom half opens.
Yeah, I don't know this shit. I don't live over there. I'm Canadian.
But you know, you
I'm
can
just trying to figure out if this door thing is like a glory hole.
Oh, would that hurt, eh? Imagine bumping your dick into a fucking stone.
It's a dwarf glory hole.
Last time you go through that hole in the back.
I mean, based on what I was hearing, you're telling me that they're taking these bricks and smashing guys' genitalia between these 2 bricks.
Well, they're trying to.
And then you're talking about a half a door or part of a door. I'm thinking glory hole. Damn. Talk about a bad way to die.
In defense of story number 2, folks, yeah, dog flap is what we'd use it for, Eric Evil, and Eric Evil's probably never going to come listen again. But anyway,
Eric's my buddy.
I live next to a Newfie, and they're the first place when the British got off track and couldn't find Canada or the United States, they ended up in Newfoundland, which is like an island off to the east, to me anyway.
And we all know how fucked up Newfoundland is.
No, my wife puts this little bench in the backyard in the spring. It's just a nice little bench in the flower beds. And my neighbor comes, and he turns it down. Every time he's over and he says, "You're attracting little people." What the fuck are you? You don't understand. And one night I got really hammered and I sat with him by a fire, and they have the most amazing stories of how little people would come and steal the babies away. And so this all comes from Stu's part of the world. So be them pantomimes or dwarves or smashing bricks together. Man, I'm Big B.
No. I will say number 1 is true and number 2 is false.
Just number 2 is just too far fetched and it's real. CJ, chat room, chime in. You got 1 or 2? Chime in because we don't got all night here.
You know, I think 1 is true.
So where are we here? CJ's going to go with 1. I'm going to go with 2, and Big B's going to go with 1. Eric Evil's going to pick 1, and we're waiting on Albert. All he said is gnomes. Well, they're both about pantomimes as far as I'm concerned by Big B's. Did you ever finish Googling fags?
I did. Would you like me to read it out?
Well, I'm just wondering, does it come up while we're waiting for Uncle Albert? Because he's probably like blowing his nose. Does it come up as a cigarette in the alternate lifestyle person who uses both bathrooms? I don't want to offend anyone.
It comes up as neither. Fag comes up as a noun, as the British informal, a tiring or unwelcome task. or a verb, which is the British version, the British definition, informal, is work hard, especially at a tedious job or task. Right. He didn't have to fag away in a lab to get the right answer.
Kind of like you take the mick.
Kind of, yeah.
Introduced us to that. You're taking the mick. I never quite got that. I felt so bad for Mike and Mick and those people because basically they were getting pissed on. I will never allow a grandchild. I'm not going to have any more children. So, to be called Mike or Mick or Mickey. I just thought that was the English people are really demented.
Thank you.
All right, Stu, I'm going to throw the camera over to you. This is
and Uncle Al chooses story number 1.
Those are great stories, by the way. And listen, I just got really passionate about the rules for a minute because I'm having such a hard time. You guys know I coach hockey, and they're really being rule sticklers right now. So I really find it offending that a host Googled something during, like, that's the no of the show.
I will take my penalty.
No, I'm allowing you to get in because both stories. When I heard the two bricks being smashed together, I had to let you back in. I knew that I had gone through the looking glass once the second story had begun. So your disqualification has been removed by instant replay. And Stu, I am going to ask you. You have 3 votes for number 1. And 4, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you have 4 votes for number 1 and 1 for number 2. Have they caught on to you, Stu, or have you fooled them? Tell us, actually, is number 2 true or false?
Well, number 2 was taken from Dwarf News and is actually totally fake.
So once again, I am out of it right off the bat. So Eric Evil, CJ, Uncle Albert, and Big B all have a point. You get the hang of it now, Eric Evil. Number 2 was a great story. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna transcript that into a mini novel and try and sell it as a short story somewhere. And now my story seems so shit. Want to go next, or you want me to?
I'll go. That's fine.
All right. So now, folks, we're over to Big B. So Eric Evil gets the hang of it. Stu, great job. You only fooled me, but this number, they are all saying number 2 was a great story. I don't know if you fabricated it or what, but
number 2 was a wonderful story.
It was actually. I actually, to find that, I actually Googled Dwarf News in desperation of trying to find a story, and I found a website called Dwarf News. So well worth looking at.
The whole time you were telling story number 2, I was just thinking of Spinal Tap when they had the mini Stonehenge and the little midgets running around, skipping around Stonehenge on stage. That's all I could think about.
You need to send us story number 2. You need to make it public for everyone, actually, on Facebook, on the Facebook group, and I'm going to read it to my grandchildren. That it's better than the guy that was spinning the thing and they couldn't pronounce his name. What the fuck? Rumpelstiltskin.
Mm-hmm.
That story should replace Rumpelstiltskin in Mother Goose's Fables.
For sure.
You're a genius, Stu. We could have had this last week. We could have had this in 2016 if it wasn't for Stu realizing he has to broadcast on Wi-Fi. Over to Big B. You go. I don't even know if my stories are going to measure this shit.
Okay. Story number 1 has the title Neurologist says millions are affected with tweetism. Okay. Hundreds of millions of people around the globe have a new modern illness called diminished intellectual capacity and knowledge starvation. Tweetism, however, seems to be the popular handle for this newly named illness, as the name implies people people can get from overusing social media. Dr. Wilma Shelby, head of neurology at Chicago Medical Center and discoverer of the new ailment, said, decades ago, my colleagues were theorizing about the MTV generation and short attention spans. And later, studies confirmed those theories about how electronics and entertainment affect them. What we're seeing now is a further diminishment of already short attention spans and even more permanent brain rewiring patterns. So does that mean everyone who is a prolific tweeter has tweetism? Not necessarily, says Dr. Shelby. It's like asking, is everyone who drinks on the weekend an alcoholic? You see, it's not that simple. Like moderate drinkers, moderate tweeters are not overly affected by that aspect of their lives, but probably about half of heavy tweeters have some sort of permanent brain changes and personality changes as well. But let me say, it's not just Twitter. It's our entire culture of now, and our media choices that are doing this. And the disease and the technologies are feeding into each other at a much more rapid pace. That is the end of the story.
I actually agree with that story, whether it's true or false. So I'll pass. I have no questions on that.
So this tweet, is it like a mental illness?
Yeah, what they're saying is like TV started with short attention spans. The social media is now further really diminishing our attention spans and kind of rewiring our brains on how we think and how we interact with others.
Okay. Yep. No more questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
He's not Your Honor when he's playing this game.
CJ, any questions?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
He's like, I'm never going to go on this fucking show again.
Okay.
He's still trying to get over the brick, just like I am. In that little door.
Okay. My next story is a woman gives birth to 4 babies in 11 months. A mom from Wales experienced the miracle of life 4 times in over just 11 months. Becky John of Swansea thought it would be nice.
Wait a minute. It's called Swansea. That was where my dad was born.
Okay, so Becky John of Swansea thought it would be nice for her baby daughter Maya to have a similarly aged sibling and decided to conceive another child with her partner Jason Evans. John, who gave birth to Maya in February, became pregnant just 1 week later and was shocked to discover she would be giving birth to triplets. I had to stare at the screen just to make sure of myself. I counted the heartbeats one by one. It was a shock to see that I was actually pregnant with triplets. John told Barcroft, adding, none of her friends believed her. And that's the end of the story. So basically, 1 week after she gave birth to her daughter, she got pregnant again.
You know what? That's actually conceivable. But Swansea makes it false. I'm just teasing. My dad was actually born in Swansea. We're of Irish descent, and they ran away from Ireland and ended up in Swansea, Wales. It's funny. Since you said that, that's a side note. But questions on this one. So I just want to clarify. She had the one child.
She gave birth to Maya, I believe it was.
Okay. And by the way, Mrs. Big B says she can't hear anything, so everybody wave. So she knows we're saying hi. She's going to blind guess number 1. But
okay.
So she gave birth to Maya.
Yes.
And then how long after? So basically they did in virtual whatever it is for the daughter. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't say. She got pregnant a week later.
The daughter or the mother was pregnant with both?
No. The mother gave birth to the daughter, And then the mother got pregnant again 1 week after
Right.
giving birth.
So 9 months later, gave birth to triplets. Okay, I'll rest on that. CJ, let's go over to you this time.
Yeah, I just that's wow. You know, that with all the, do you think all the mechanics up in there would be kind of just shot? You wouldn't think that she'd be able to get pregnant that fast again.
Well, you wouldn't think the bloke obviously wasn't at the birth, was he? Because if he was, he wouldn't have gone near her for quite a while, would he?
Not just that. I remember my wife slapped my face. My wife slapped my face for at least 8 weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least she said, "Don't you dare come near me." She's healed.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to look like a hatchet wound down there after the first kid, you know. And
oh shit! I got no notes. You guys are going to have to give me an hour to come up with the name of the show. No, I agree with you on that. I mean, scientifically, it's probably possible.
But women from Swansea, I was surprised she waited a week.
For those of you that don't know, Stu is not like Welsh people. Oh shit! Is that both stories? Because I've completely lost track ever since those.
That is both stories.
All right, I'm not voting first on this one. Stu, what do you vote? Chat room, please vote.
Well, I think both of them can be quite true, really. I mean, the tweet is what I don't believe on the first one is the tweetism, the name. I think they could have come up with a better name.
Well, the name on the first one is diminished intellectual capacity and knowledge starvation, but they've shortened it to tweetism.
Okay. Yeah, Emily, I got you for one. I'm waiting on Uncle Albert.
Well, would you like me to vote? Yeah,
Uncle Albert. I always feel like Uncle Albert's Googling. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Well, look, I'm going for number 2 as true.
Okay, you're going number 2. Eric Evil's
Just
number
because I know what Welsh are like.
I'm not even Welsh. I'm Irish, but we just landed in Wales. CJ, what do you say?
I'd say number 1.
And
number 1 is true.
I'm also gonna go number 1. And is Albert? Uncle Albert is mad at me now in the chat room because he said Stu and DK under our rules. I humbly apologize. Albert was disqualified from this story, and at least he's paying attention. But I'm having a problem with the 2 bricks. Okay, I'm literally dumbfounded by all this. I go to the keyboard for the winner or loser. Let me look at this. We got CJ with number 1. We got Eric Evil with number 1. We got Stu with 2. And we got me and Mrs. B with number 1. So the only one that picked number 2 was Stu. So unanimously, if 2 is true, you have fooled everyone, and you are the master at this. Tell us if 2 is true or false.
Number 2, with the woman giving birth to 4 children in 11 months, is 100% true.
Oh.
Wow.
Now, DK, what I want you to do, okay? I'm going to repeat the name of the supposed illness for the social media illness, and I want you to write each name, each word, one under each other, and then read the first letters.
Okay.
What it spells out.
I got to turn my paper because I've been writing a lot. All right, go ahead.
Diminished. Intellectual capacity. Knowledge.
No.
Starvation.
For those of you that can't spell, it's spelled.
That's awesome.
Spelled dicks.
Oh God! All right. Well, Mrs. B, your phone is getting her. I'm going to go ahead with my story. I gotta take a sip. Oh my God, that was fun. All right, to close things out tonight in Take the Bait, and I've even put it in words so I don't have to worry about the pages refreshing and stuff like that. I have two stories that originate from Canada. So both these stories originate from the country of Canada. Both of them involve immigrants. Both of them involve religion. So I will go on with story number one. Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses brawl trying to get to refugees first.
God.
This one comes out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. An unbrotherly brawl broke up at Pierre Elliott Trudeau Airport this afternoon as two religious groups punched, elbowed each other, trying to get a minute of a refugee's family time. And the new Canadian family was startled and confused. I saw one woman pull a man to the ground. The family's 31-year-old mother told the Gazette. And two young men were beating another man over the head with their books, said a wide-eyed woman. Montreal Police Service de Police de Ville de la Montreal. I know I'm Canadian, I don't speak French. Officers told the Gazette that 7 people were treated at the scene for minor injuries. It appears that a group of young Mormon missionaries sprinted up to the international arrivals gate and found that a group of Jehovah's Witnesses had already claimed the best spots for converting refugees. Sorry, the best greeting areas, said Sergeant Sanju Singh. Words were exchanged, followed by some shoving and some jostling before all hell and several fights broke loose. The family reportedly shielded their children's ears from rude swear words shouted by both groups before the father, mother, and 2 daughters were whisked away from fighting by whisked away from the fighting by volunteers. Said the charges are pending against 4 Mormons and 2 Jehovah's Witnesses. I've never seen 2 church people duke it out before, said bystander Guy Nault on CTV News. The refugee family, and this is a side note by the reporter, the refugee family says they must be thinking, man, these Canadians are some kind of weird people. Choo-choo stew. Choo-choo stew. Okay, we've lost Choo-choo stew again.
At least we're consistent. Every show we lose Choo Choo Stew at least once.
I see him nodding his head, winking his eye.
But we can't hear him.
All right, so we'll come back to Choo Choo.
Yeah, they're back.
Oh, there
he
he is. Back to the stew cam.
Yeah, sorry, I muted my mic for a second while I was coughing.
That's not a technical problem. That's being how would you say it over there? A pantomime.
That's user error.
I was trying to ask you, did the refugees ask to go back home?
That's not stated in the article. They were whisked away, apparently, from volunteers or security guards or whatever.
Okay, sorry, I haven't got any other questions on that one.
Okay, so yeah, I have no idea if they went back home because they'd be asked to put a bomb around their waist if they did.
Right, they're refugees. They're not going to go back home.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Big B.
I don't have any questions. I can't think of. I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is did they square off like the fucking the what's that movie with the jets and the fucking
West Side Story.
Yeah,
square
off like fucking West Side Story and start dance fighting. I don't know.
See, when you said that, I was thinking of Flash Gordon. when the wing people fought Gorgon or whatever his name was. I don't know. They could have been beating each. One of them might have had the whatever they call it, the New Testament, and the other people might have had the Watchtower, and they were dueling. I have no idea.
The King James Bible.
It doesn't. It doesn't get into that. CJ.
You know, they were probably whisked away safely and stayed overnight in the Catholic mission. That's what's really funny about this whole story.
Yeah, exactly. And then they were baptized and
baptized Episcopalians. What the fuck?
I don't write this stuff whether it's true or not. Is someone else watching the chat room? Because I'm reading stories.
What happened to their goat?
What happened to the goat?
The goat.
Yes, we need to find the goat a home. Remember,
Uncle Albert's awake.
Sacrifice to Odin.
Yeah. All right, story number 2 doesn't get any better this week. I'm catching on to you guys. This week, our story entails the same type of thing. The Catholic School Board is adding table tennis to the sports academy. I know why. With an eye to doubling the size of its international students program, the Essex Catholic School Board plans to add table tennis this fall to its growing list of subjects at the Brennan Sports Academy. By targeting several Far Eastern nations, as well as Spain and Portugal, for recruiting new students, the board sees a natural fit in offering this sport, which is very popular in their region. It is their hockey, Director of Education Paul Picard said Tuesday. We chuckled over it at first. Then the more people we talked to throughout the world, they were saying to us, you'll be shocked what will happen here. The sports program available at Brennan has been popular with domestic students. You see, students earn credits for successfully completing programs in hockey, soccer, gymnastics, and baseball. In addition to table tennis, the board also plans to offer volleyball this fall. Tapping into the international market is a growth area in an era of dwindling enrollment this year. The Catholic Board has 130 international students around the globe. International students pay an annual tuition of around $11,000, equal to the amount of the funding that they get from the province. They'll be laughing at us at first, Picard said. Let's see how it goes, because I'm guessing they're not going to be by the time it's done. Essex Table Tennis Club Treasurer Vincent Lucier said, Picard is correct in his assessment of the popularity of table tennis, an Olympic sport in parts of the world where the board is recruiting. Story number 2. Anyone?
What countries are they recruiting?
Hang on, let me scroll back up here, baby. The article says they are recruiting from several Far Eastern nations, as well as Spain, and Portugal.
Okay.
Any further questions?
No.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's a lot of Chinese refugees getting off and witnessing playing table tennis.
In Canada? Look, you know what? I don't know. In hockey, and I like darts. Stu knows I like darts. I watch a lot of darts on TV now. I just love the way the guy calls out. What's that term, Stu?
180.
180. I love, but honest to God, I've never seen personally anyone play table tennis. But nothing surprises me in this world anymore. Nothing surprises me anymore. Stu.
Well, I believe that they should be in cups and or different sports, and it's an indoor sport, isn't it? So it's an all-weather thing. So I think it's quite plausible that they would do that, and I will be voting for that as my true answer, my true story.
We're not voting yet.
Well, that's what I was saying.
I'm
Hypothetically.
going to slap you with 2 bricks right now. This is the question period.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I've got no questions about that.
All right. Big B, you said none? I don't remember anymore.
No, I asked what countries they were recruiting, and you
Yeah, that's right. You asked what questions. All right, so chat room, Eric Evil, Mrs. B, Uncle Albert. Oh, Uncle Albert's having a hard time. That's rare for him. That means I've done a good job. So, Stu, you were going to vote for which one? I'm sorry?
The table tennis one, the number 2.
You know what? I lost score who had right answers and wrong answers. 1, 2, 3.
Everybody's tied at 1 right now.
Yeah, everyone's tied at 1. Sorry. Okay. So you say what, Stu? This is the game winner.
Number 2.
Number 2 is true. Is that correct, Stu?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, number 2 is true for Stu. Over to CJ.
I would say number 2 is true as well. As much as I would like to see the West Side Story of the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons going at it, I think number 2 is true.
You're thinking of West Side Story, and I'm thinking of Flash Gordon. I'm thinking of like those Hawk people. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know that they were the Hawk people flew in and they were fighting whatever. I can't even remember. Ming. That was his name. Ming was the emperor.
Yes.
Okay. So you say 2 as well. Over to you, Big B.
I'm going to say I'm going to go with the West Side Story fight and say that number 1 is true and number 2 is false.
Okay. And in the chat room, Uncle Albert's having a hard time out there. Mrs. B. Oh, no. Uncle Albert says story number 1 is true. And Mrs. B says 2. And I'm out of it. Is Eric Evil still here? What does Eric Evil say? I can't see him out there. Double E, do you have a vote before we?
He's in the chat, but he hasn't voted.
Okay. Double E, no Googling. That's the rule.
He says 1.
He goes with 1 as well. So I'm going to go with the lesser. Oh, wait a minute, though. We got Mrs. B, Choo Choo Stew, and CJ with 2. Double E, Uncle Albert, and Big B with 1. I have done a great job tonight. Pick which one you want to know, Big B.
I want to know number 1 because that's the one I say is true.
Number 1, Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses fighting over refugees in an airport is false. It is in fact true that the Essex School Board, which is around my area, is incorporating table tennis because of the lack of student enrollment, and they feel that more of these people will enroll, knowing table tennis is available as a sport, and it truly breaks my fucking heart. Because number 1,
it worked in the United States. Yeah, they took out weight rooms out of the prisons and they put in table tennis. So it worked here, so it's got to work there.
So who won here? So everybody that voted 2. So Mrs. B has 1. Choo Choo Stew has CJ wins.
Sorry?
We're gonna have to have CJ back because Uncle Albert, the king of the hill, 2 weeks in a row. Albert, you got to get some sleep, drink some coconut rum out there.
See, that's what's called a flash in the pan. He had his time and now he's done. It's like Ronda Rousey. She was kicking ass and now she's got her ass beat 2 times in a row. CJ is the new man, the man of take the bait.
I wonder if CJ will do the same thing. Remember the time Uncle Albert came on and he said, I am undisputed champion. And as soon as he changed the rules, that it was a fair shot.
The last time, if I remember right, Uncle Albert spanked my ass. So it's only fair that I come back and, 50-50, we're 1-1.
Look, I really don't want to know what happens on your personal time. What you guys do is your business. I don't need to know it.
I personally do have a problem with table tennis is not a sport.
I'll tell that to the Chinese. They seem to be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
They're good at that. Like they're very good at it and they look amazing. But and I don't want to insult NASCAR fans. But I don't believe that's a sport either. You know, a bunch of left turns or right turns or whatever. Definition of sport. And there's more than one I like. I'm not just a hockey guy.
See, I will say that NASCAR, I like NASCAR, and I will say it's a sport because what is the ultimate injury in any sport? Let's go by that, right? The ultimate injury in NASCAR is death. That's a sport.
Yeah.
No, true. Hey, look, look, we could get into this, and people say wrestling is fake, and I know it's rigged, but look at the things they do in the ring. And
no, they're absolutely athletes. It's all fake, but they're absolutely athletes.
You know, that's wrestlers are. I mean, especially I know CJ was a collegiate wrestler. I'm going to shock the shit out of you right now. And I'm getting refreshes every 30 seconds. So we might be able to see a shootout when we get off air. It is currently 4-4 in overtime between the United States and Canada. Which
I told you, USA coming back.
If I haven't told you before, folks, most of you know that I'm very heavily involved in hockey, and I am Canadian. I get most of my drills from the United States. They are far more progressive these days than the Canadians. So what a great matchup between two North American teams. No offense to you and your brick smacking dwarfs, Stu.
And the U.S. just beat Russia yesterday in a 7-round shootout. So
look
to the shootout.
Canada beat Sweden, which was supposed to be the best team in like 13 years. These Swedes are like thoroughbreds, I guess. And Canada whooped them. And so, no, nothing better than, you know, I'm on the border, so I see the best of both worlds, and we play each other all the time. And obviously, the NHL is in Canada and the United States. So win-win situation. Of course, I'm bleeding red over this, but very proud of the Americans. They're doing a great job. If the Canadians were ever out, I'd cheer for the Americans. Full contact tiddlywinks. That's almost worthy of the title of the show. All right, boys, because there might be a shootout, and I'd really like to see it. Let's go around. Chat room, you have your notice. We need a name for the show. I need a minute myself. Because we've gone from rants and everything, and you didn't even give me a chance. I need 30 seconds here. Here's what I think we should do. CJ is going to share this show, and I know the host, and I hope every listener out here will share this show, because here's what I think should happen. You had a showdown. Well, you didn't really have a showdown, but you had a guest come on and do a rant and got a standing ovation from the king of rants. I think if we do one of those pay-per-view things where people have to pay like $1 or $2, and all the money goes to charity, the winner, you know, you and CJ both pick a charity, and the winner gets the money to go to their charity. So all money that comes in, we can charge $1, we can charge $2, we can talk about it. Choo Choo Stu, myself, listeners, people coming in can choose the topics, and you guys just have to rant off the top of your head on one side of the story or the other, and all the money goes to charity. And when money goes to charity, nobody loses.
Yep. Sounds good.
And rants are the best. Rants make me pee my pants.
You love when I'm stuck in traffic on the way home, because you know I have a story.
Like I remember one time, CJ, you know Scott Doucette from Podcast Bay. He listened to one of our shows, and he happened to listen to the one where Big B was wishing flesh-eating disease on people taking pictures in New York traffic. Absolutely loved it. Rants, and then you saw the attention that you drew over your rants. I'm beginning to think rant is the new marketing. And I'm willing to put rants on the line for charity. Now, I'm not saying we're going to do this next week. It's just an idea I want to throw out there where we could gather a community together, and sure, it's going to be good publicity for us and for CJ. But at the same time, low publicity doesn't hurt, but the money goes to charity. Be it $5 or 5,000. You never know.
You know I'm in.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So there you go, folks.
And we don't know the topics beforehand. We just have to.
No, we're not going to give you time, because when you boil, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But like, Choo Choo Stu could say something like tea bags on the side of taking a tea bag out or taking a tea bag in, and you pick a side and you rant about it.
Taking a tea bag on the chin.
Yeah, and we take like
Tea bag on the eyeballs.
It's nothing like a sleepy tea bag on the forehead. Yeah.
With a mushroom
Just an idea.
punctuation.
And Uncle Albert wants to call the pay-per-view Rantomania. I like it.
There you go.
All right. Uncle Albert loves fuck Facebook as his choice. And I gotta start.
Uncle Albert loves Facebook?
No. His fuck Facebook is the name of the show. All right. Stu, what would you call this show? Stu? You're muted again, Stu.
Hola. Bogota, Colombia. Choo Choo Stu.
We can't hear a word. You smash two bricks together. Come on, give us. This never ends with him. Like I think it's part of it. I really do. I think he plays it out. Look at him laughing. Unmute your fucking microphone. You want to hear somebody rant? I'll rant on fucking Choo Choo Stu. He does this to me every fucking week. All right, I'll come back to you, Stu. You figure out, call me on the telephone. Anybody else out there? Mrs. B says, Fuckerberg's ransom. But I like the way she spelt it. So she called it Fuckerberg's ransom. It's Stu's shtick. Big B, do you have anything?
I have, how does he become sneezy in Bogota, Colombia?
Hang on, I'm writing this down. You got a minute to think there. See. How does he become
sneezy?
How does he become sneezy?
In Bogota, Colombia.
Bogota. I don't even know how to spell that city. Colombia. I'll look it up. All right, CJ, over to you. What would you call the show? Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Let's go over this.
Doing?
Yeah, he's holding something up. I can't. You got to hold it up a little closer. Hold it up again, Stu. We can't see it. He wants
hashtag fuck Facebook.
He wants hashtag fuck Facebook too. So that's got 2 votes. Over to you, CJ.
Oh, what about bricks smacking, little people ranting, Bogota, Colombia, Screw You Blue Radio or something? I don't know. Wasn't really thinking about a name.
I know it's hard. We do this every week. Brick smacking in. Okay, now. Oh, wait.
Little people ranting.
I don't even have Bogota, Colombia. So I'm
hashtag fuck Facebook.
So let's all. I know it always takes a few minutes, but this goes down in history. So we got hashtag fuck Facebook, which is good. How does he become sneezy in Bogota, Colombia, and brick smacking in Bogota, Colombia? And the only reason I like brick smacking in Bogota, Colombia is because it's shorter. So I'm going to place my bet there. And I'm just scanning the chat room here. I don't know if Eric Evil's just lull. And at some point we are going to call the story lull because we've had that answer a few times. Big B, I'm gonna throw it over to you because I'm gonna side with CJ on this. Brick smacking little people. I'm gonna add to that. Brick smacking little people.
Well, let me just add in Eric's because Eric just posted. He says cat door dwarf ball smashers.
Fuck. And so if we throw these all back in the hat, start writing, Stu. I think, you know, if I had a choice now, I'd call it a pantomime that fucks Facebook. Just by,
yes, I vote for that.
I would just change the first one to a pantomime fucks Facebook. Is there any protests on that?
Not for me.
CJ?
Nope, that's good.
All this other material will go into the show, of course. You got anything else to say, Stu, before we say goodnight? Never mind your camera, Stu. It's got nothing to do with anything. We're looking for a good night written on blue paper.
And before we go, Mrs. B has a great idea. She says we need to do a weekly over-under on when Stu's sound cuts out.
That's a good one, too. And donate the money to charity.
That could be like in when we have the rant off, or the rant mania, we could have a side thing of the over-under when Stu's audio cuts out.
Because the thing before the show, folks, just before we go, and we got you live on the Stu Cam and YouTube, and I know we're going over like we usually do, but Stu has not had a problem with his microphone lately. It's been his video. And all of a sudden he's sitting there all honestly like his cat. Can you wave goodbye at least, Stu? Or clap your hands together like you got two bricks. Okay, so let's get this right. What did we settle on?
A pantomime fucks Facebook.
A pantomime hashtag fucks Facebook. Fuck Facebook. I'll figure it out when I do the show notes. All right, kids, listen. I want to tell you something. Again, we're live every Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on Cave Crew Radio. We do this for a lot of fun. It makes me laugh. It takes stress out of my life, and I hope it does the same for you. We're also on Cave Crew TV on YouTube. We're available on iTunes. We're available on Stitcher as well. Where can we find you? I know we talked about it at the beginning of the show, but you've got a fantastic show. Aside from your rants, where can everybody find you and look into you?
Yeah, you can find me over at ripkamedia.com. You can even click the YouTube subscribe button so you can catch all my YouTube lives. No more Facebook. Fuck Facebook. And that's how you can find the show. It's right there on YouTube.
And it's a great show, folks. It's a lot of fun. And I've already got CJ's permission. So shortly after the show, probably before the show even comes out, I'm going to share that video onto the Cave Crew Radio Facebook group and also on Twitter. And Uncle Albert also wants to do a live take debate against CJ. CJ is not one to back down from.
Can we just do a live take debate?
And actually, I think what we'll do is you and I and Stu will come up with the stories, and the two of them will just fight it out, and we'll actually have overtime stories and everything ready. Okay, so these are all things you guys got to remind me of this shit though, because I got more. I can't even read my own handwriting. So we got to put this stuff into fruition. But I'm really glad everybody had a good time. CJ, thanks again for coming. Big B, of course, on Metal Thunder Radio. every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on cavecrewradio.com when it works. But you're also where?
On metalworldradio.com. That's
Also-
where our good buddy who's in chat all night long, Eric Evil, is also on Metal World Radio every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Beautiful. Eric Evil. Check him out Saturday nights. And, of course, you can check out metalthunderradio.com for all the fun stuff. And Choo Choo Stew, in the land of dwarves, dog doors, pantomimes, and smashing bricks together. Wave goodbye, Stu. That was a great time to do your slow clap.
But that's meant to be like, congratulatory.
Right, you're right. Yeah, but I don't know. He made it 95% of the way through the show, though.
He did. So now, if you would have taken the over, you would have won.
Exactly. I like that idea. We need a secretary to take notes and forward this stuff to me, so I can this is good material for future shows.
Yep.
All right, kids, we're out of here. See you around. Be nice to each other.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!